Hello, OCVarsity. Dan Albano here, Orange County Register, here with Steve Fryer, Hall of Famer, with the a Hall of Fame member of the Saddleback High School boys basketball program right here, talking some boys basketball. Steve, we're going into our second round of league, and I'm wondering, what's the toughest league? What are the couple toughest leagues so far, in your opinion, in Orange County basketball?
There's been some great games already down in the South Coast and CV leagues in South County. Some of the results we've seen. El Toro beats Aliso and Tribuco last week. That was pretty amazing. I don't think anybody saw that coming, because El Toro, they're now at 500. They were like sub 500 team coming out of December. Went 0-4 in a tournament down in Torrey Pines, and then they beat those two teams. Those two leagues are really good. And the league that I really think is a lot of fun, and I saw La Habra beat Troy last week, that Freeway League is something good. Sonora's kind of run roughshod over everybody in that league last couple years, but that league is really tight. You got Troy, you got La Habra, you still got Sonora. Got to worry with them. Sunny Hill's tough place to play. They run up and down, and those kids in the student section are wonderful. Fullerton is going to win a couple games, so that's a really tough league as well. And then the Sunset League is really tight. It's always been like sort of Edison and Los Al the last couple of years. Los Al's not quite as good as they've been the last couple 3 years. Edison is not quite as good either, but they still look like maybe the best team in that league. But Marina's gotten better. Newport Harbor's gotten better. That league is going to be really tight. So all of those leagues right there are really good. And then, of course, you got the excellence that is, the Trinity League, Dan. Mater Dei is really good. Santa Margarita might beat them. I think that's next week down in Santa Margarita. Mater Dei got away with one when they beat Margarita at their home court last week. So we'll see what happens when Mater Dei plays Margarita. Orange Lutheran's struggling, but they still got guys. Servite, they play like heck. Bosco's beating Margarita and Mater Dei. J. Sarah's pretty good too, with Mensa and Rodman over there. So there's a lot of good hoops out there, man.
So what is the number one toughest then?
The toughest league I think is the Sunset because of how tight it is. But
number one.
But that South Coast League is pretty gosh darn good too. Boy, I don't know, but for me, entertainment wise, the Freeway League's really good, and maybe a team that's going to dominate a league, maybe Garden Grove. That's usually a pretty tight league, but I think Garden Grove's going to run away with that one. So, but that's what I think.
Well, I know one fan who's a super fan that's pretty excited by that news about the Sunset League is Taryn Rodriguez is going to be liking this video, right, Taryn? Hey, let's go. Let's look about top players this year so far.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's still early in the season, still trying to figure things out, but who are about the top 2 or 3 players that you've seen this season, maybe that are early candidates for County Player of the Year? Yeah,
early candidates for Player of the Year. Dawson Baker at Capistrano Valley is really good. Spencer Friedman at Mater Dei is really good too. And Spencer's, I think, although Coach McKnight might disagree, I think Spencer's shooting the ball a little bit better this year. Jay Kyman over at Santa Margarita, boy, he can do a lot of things. He's a very exciting player as a junior, getting recruited. Everybody's going to offer him by the time he's done. Dominic Harris, the point guard down out at Pacifica Christian, is really good as well. Jacob Ween, the guard who's just so consistent for Northwood's really good. Blake Burzell, talk about a consistent guy at Laguna Beach. He's averaging 21.6 points a game. Last 3 games, 22 points, and 21 points. That's consistent scoring, man. So he's really good. Centers, we don't usually have a lot of centers. The kid Dollywall at Aliso, he's a pretty good player, really good post player. Because he got the ball within 4 feet, it's going to go in. Josh Phillips, just a shot blocking machine over at Edison's really good. Iman, the same thing at Los Al. Mikel Harvey at Ocean View, way up there in rebounds, scoring, and block shots in Orange County. Jacob Alamadun over at Marina's really good. Jordan Guest is really good over at Santa Margarita. I like Brendan Herrick a lot at Esperanza. There's a lot of players out there, but Spencer Friedman might be the most complete player in terms of how he distributes the ball, leadership, just his core presence, all that stuff. He might be the leader there.
And a great shooter, right?
He's gotten a lot better at shooting, yeah. I think he, good 3-point guy. Got a really quick release, pretty good.
So speaking of those breakers at Laguna Beach, I wonder what you think about the job Brett Fleming's done, and it, is there a couple of coaching jobs already this season that have impressed you, that you think some guys are really doing some great coaching out there?
Year in, year out, Brett Fleming at Laguna Beach is a wonderful coach over there. Gets the most out of his talent. Now this year he's got talent. He's got Burzell. He's got a freshman named Nace who's really good. So they're really good. They're going to run the table in that league, and then what they do in the playoffs is going to be very interesting to see what they do. But he's really good. Tim O'Brien at Northwood. is doing a great job. I don't think O'Brien or Brett Fleming ever been the county coach of the year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and that's my fault. I think one of those guys might get it. There's Nate Harrison, of course, at Canyon, who's been a coach of the year, doing a great job. Keith Barnett at Aliso is doing a spectacular job. Sean Sullins at Trabuco is always really good. Ken Frank at Garden Grove. There's a guy who really coaches the game really well. And Jeff Ryan at Santa Margaret, I think, is a really darn good coach, too. So we got some guys there. But right now, my top two guys in that category would be Fleming and O'Brien.
A couple of vets that might doing a great job.
Yeah,
out
I'd like
there.
to see one of those two guys get that. That'd be fun for me personally.
All right, so a lot going on this week with more league play, and anything that's jumping out with you on our OCVarsity leaderboard. We got those posted on the website. Anything that's jumping out to you right now as far as the leaderboard?
At University High School over in the Pacific Coast League, they've always got a dude who can fill it, and Mike Deneen runs a style that they like to rebound and run, and everybody's got the green light, and so he's got a guy over there named Alex Bray who's scoring 28 points a game. He's a county leader in scoring. So it's and I've seen him play. He can shoot from three. He's got the green light from everywhere, and he can also, if you come out on him, he's going to go around you too. So Bray's really good there. Dawson Baker's going to fill it up. Mikkel Harvey, like I mentioned earlier, he's right there in scoring, rebounds. He's really good. I like him a lot. He's a fine player.
All right, so there's a little rundown of what's going on our OCVarsity leaderboards. Check those out on the website, and we got our league snapshot, our power rankings done.
Yeah.
We got some early leaders on player and coaches of the year. So a lot of good basketball going on. Be sure to follow Steve Fryer on Twitter at Steve Fryer, and follow our coverage on boys basketball this season on OCVarsity.
See you courtside.